Hello and welcome to Newsfeed on Trust TV. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala, bringing you trending stories that people are talking about and sharing around the globe today, and also their opinions on such issues. Tinubu sleeps by 5 a.m., deserves credit for subsidy removal, says Dari. Other restricting rivers allocation, list of my problems, says Fubara. CBN charges youths to save for a fulfilled future. Chad's army accused of killing scores of fishermen in Nigeria. Now, top on what's trending, Sunday Dari has called for patience over President Bola Tinubu's administration's reforms, saying that the Nigerian leader should be commended for his policies. You know, the subsidy was draining this country. A few hundred were making billions out of it. Every president said they would stop subsidy. None of them did. Let's give this man some credit. We might not like it. Dare, who is a special advisor to President Tinubu on public communication and orientation, said this to newsmen on Thursday. President Tinubu declared an end to subsidy on fuel during his inauguration and later floated the country's currency, all part of his administration's reforms. The moves have seen the cost of the essential product move from about 200 naira per litre to over 1,000 naira across the country, pushing it beyond the reach of millions of Nigerians who rely on the commodity to power their vehicles, homes, and businesses. And now to the reactions. The first one says, an average Nigerian doesn't understand the mess this subsidy has cost this nation. Subsidy is why you don't have refineries working. Subsidy is why parents are borrowing to send kids to private schools at primary and secondary level. Government abandoned the schools. So odd. All we need is good transportation system at subsidized rate to ease the pain on the masses. The next comment is from one Waziri Saad Ibrahim, and it says, show me benefits of the subsidy removal. Compare and contrast with PTF of General Abacha when 2 naira per litre was allocated to it and what you have achieved so far in 2 years. And the last comment on this story is from one Tajuddin Toyin, and it says, he asked to be the president, so it's his job to be awake and do the needful. Next on what's trending, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has charged Nigerian youths to cultivate the culture of saving for a fulfilled future. The Apex Bank celebrated World Savings Day on October 31st in Abuja. The acting head of Consumer Protection Department of CBN, Ibrahim Yahaya, told journalists at the event that CBN was committed to savings awareness creation, as according to him, savings provide the necessary pool of funds for investors to borrow from and grow the economy through productivity and job creation. We want to instill the culture of savings among the youths so that right from that age, as they grow up with the discipline and with the encouragement of the parents, the children will learn to save for future events that may arise, he added. Yahaya encouraged the Nigerian public to continue to save despite the high rate of inflation. This comes as Nigerians question the point of saving when their money loses value daily due to inflation. And now to the comments. The first one says, where person go see money save when he or she never chop. Next is from one Obia_Melody. Save from where exactly? People are barely holding on and managing with the basics. And the last comment on this story says, it's difficult to save with the skyrocketing economy. This period, we eat with the one we saved many years ago. Now, next on what's trending, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara on Wednesday said concerns over the Federal High Court decision that restricted the release of state allocations is the least of his problems. Governor Fubara stated during a special Thanksgiving service organized by the state government to celebrate his administration's resilience amid escalating political crisis, which began with the arson attack on the State House of Assembly complex exactly 1 year ago. Governor Fubara assured that despite the court order, his administration will continue payments to contractors and ensure workers' salaries are disbursed. He also confirmed that allocations for the 23 council chairmen will be credited as the Joint Account Allocation Committee (JAC) procedures have been completed. And now responding to that, someone said, I actually cannot be bothered about Wike and Fubara's rift, but for a judiciary to restrict the allocation going to a whole state without a flint of care about the main beneficiaries of the allocation like the civil servants and other workers whose salaries and means of livelihood will be affected is what I find burdensome. How is this a law or a just judgment? This judgment definitely needs to be appealed and annulled on the basis of equity and good conscience, because why should the innocent people suffer because of some egoistic men's rift? Why? The next comment is from one Kelvin Wabara, and it says, the recent ruling by Justice Joyce Abdul-Malik to stop Rivers State's monthly allocations appears to overstep judicial boundaries, raising concerns about political influence on the judiciary. According to Section 162 of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution, funds in the Federation account must be distributed among federal, state, and local governments as mandated by the National Assembly. The judiciary lacks the authority to interfere with these allocations, and doing so threatens Nigeria's federalism by undermining state autonomy. And the next comment, which is the last on this story, it's from one Peter Chinonso, and it says, Fubara is really a good man. They should let him focus. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike says starting January 2025, all commercial buses in the nation's capital, Abuja, will be profiled by the Nigerian Police Force and the Department of State Services, DSS. Wike stated this at the FCT Renewed Hope Youth Empowerment Program in Abuja on Thursday, where he handed over some new cars to beneficiaries to use as taxis. He encouraged the beneficiaries not to be ashamed that they are being empowered to be taxi drivers, saying that many Nigerians who reject taxi driving jobs at home gladly embrace such when they travel abroad. To curtail kidnapping and cases of one-chance robbery, the minister said effective January 2025, any commercial bus not duly profiled by security agencies wouldn't be allowed to operate within the nation's capital. And now to the reactions. The first is from one Chief_Miami. Looking at Wike's personal performance in his capacity of office, I believe that despite my love for Obi, this man Wike could just be the change Nigeria needs without using his issue with Fubara as one of the criteria of judging him. But this is the only man in Nigeria politics that implements a policy and stands on it, and he's really good when it comes to leadership positions. This man fit change Nigeria. The next comment says, Mr. Wike, with due respect, sir, I would like you to channel this your energy in bringing steady electricity to Nigeria. You people should stop disturbing us. We will not run for rich people in this country. We are also citizens of the country the way you are. Only your car cannot drive in the FCT. Allow the poor to rest. Next comment is from somebody with the handle Who is Neidu, and it says, by 2025, it will be a crime to drive with less than half tank of fuel in your car. Our next one was trending. The federal government said on Thursday that 25 million Nigerians have received the 25,000 naira conditional cash transfer. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, disclosed this while briefing State House correspondents shortly after the National Economic Council meeting chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. He enumerated the steps taken by President Bola Tinubu's administration to provide relief for Nigerians following the suffering occasioned by the removal of subsidies and other policy reforms being implemented by the government. According to him, 5 million households have benefited from the direct transfer. He also disclosed that in the last 5 days, no fewer than 11,000 beneficiaries have received 3.5 billion naira from the Consumer Credit Scheme. He further said over 90 billion naira has so far been disbursed to 500,000 Nigerian students under the Student Loan Scheme. And now responding to that, a user says, does anybody know anybody that knows anybody that received this alert? I beg, show proof first. I want to check something. The next person is saying, my dear Nigerians, has anyone received the 25,000 that he claimed has been sent to 25 million Nigerians? Did your neighbors receive? And the last comment on this story is from one Ezekiel Nelson, and it says, is this the solution to the problem at hand, and how did they come about the database used? Well, let's go on a quick break. We'll be back in no time. Stay with us. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, you're watching Newsfeed on Trust TV. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has confirmed the arrest of Bobrisky at Murtala Mohammed International Airport while on his way out of the country. In a chat with newsmen, the spokesperson of the commission, Dele Oyewale, said the cross-dresser was arrested over the claims he made in the audio conversation social critic Very Dark Man released in October. In the audio conversation, a person purported to be Bobrisky claimed he paid the EFCC 15 million naira to drop the money laundering charges filed against him earlier this year. Oyewale said Bobrisky was arrested and detained so he can help in the investigation of the bribery allegation made in the audio recording. He said Bobrisky was invited for questioning following the release of the audio, but he refused to show up, forcing the agency to arrest him. Bobrisky has, however, denied being the person heard in the audio tape. And now to the reactions. Someone said, "Exactly. Your case is still ongoing. How can you leave the country? Later, you guys will be blaming government. Is that how it is done in other countries? You can't leave the country until your case is over. So you trying to go to London might look like an offense, hence the rough handling." The next comment is from one King's Levet, and it says, EFCC keeps confirming arrests, but we don't know when and how they release. And the last comment on this story says, "It's easy to deny, but it's important you prove you are not the one in the audio." Next one was trending. South Africa is stripping a would-be Miss South Africa contestant who was at the center of a row over her nationality of her national identity papers, the government said. Chidima Adeshina, 23, withdrew from the Miss South Africa pageant in August amid a torrent of abuse over allegations she was not South African, which prompted an official investigation into her citizenship. The government said Tuesday it was cancelling Adeshina and her mother's identification documents after they missed a deadline to justify keeping them. The law student was born in South Africa to a Nigerian father, but faced a backlash that exposed anti-foreigner sentiment in South Africa. Her Nigerian heritage attracted vicious xenophobic attacks when she was announced as a Miss South Africa finalist. And now reacting to that, one Ogoma Uzoma said she's not going to need it after the pageant because she's going to have diplomatic papers to go wherever she wants. What she needs is for y'all to vote, vote, vote. The next comment says, "Please guys, kindly ignore this distraction and vote for her massively. The hate is cringe, but let's choose not to see it, but rather use it to vote for her like we need to. Thanks." And the last comment on this story says, "Let her come back to Nigeria. We love our own." Chad's military has been accused of killing scores of fishermen in Nigeria while targeting jihadists days after 40 died in a Boko Haram attack on a military base in Chad, fishermen and anti-jihadist militia said on Thursday. The Chadian army launched an airstrike pummeling Tilma Island in Kukawa district on the Nigerian side of Lake Chad on Wednesday while fishermen were tending to their catch, the sources said. Two anti-jihadist militia assisting Nigerian soldiers in fighting the militant groups in the region told AFP that several fishermen were killed in the bombardment. There was an attack on fishermen by a fighter jet belonging to the Chadian military in Tilma Island, which killed scores of fishermen, Babakura Kolo, an anti-jihadist militia leader said. The jet mistook the fishermen for Boko Haram terrorists who attacked a military base inside Chad on Sunday, Kolo added. And now to the comments. One King God alleged they didn't kill any fisherman. Same thing they did to Americans when they came to end Boko Haram during Buhari's tenure, and they politically mesmerized the whole situation, and Americans left saying what Buhari was doing. Chad already said as at yesterday that they are going to put an end to Boko Haram, and I knew this would happen. Next comment is also an allegation. I knew it. France is doing everything to cause chaos in West Africa. And the last comment for today's stories is from one Steven, and it says, I don't trust those fishermen. And that's a wrap on the program today. Do also follow us across all our social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. Until next time, goodbye.